may I have your attention, please? The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Well, hello, 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 and welcome to Up Close and Personal with Angela on behalf of Aspiring Authors Magazine and the Crew Podcast. I want to welcome you guys as we bring awareness to the 100 authors to watch. Oh my God, I'm telling you, I have truly, truly been blessed. If you have missed any of the broadcast throughout today, we started at 1 o'clock. There was some hiccups in the beginning, but I tell you, we was able to yet press on. We was able to yet press on, and we are yet here. We are headed into our fourth interview. So I want you guys to take this opportunity to share this with someone in your circle because you never know what the next person may be in need of. I tell you, I have truly been blessed on today, and I want to encourage you to go back and check out the replays from the interviews from today. I'm going to move out the way. I'm going to bring up my next guest. You guys have definitely seen her around the platform. She's no stranger to the platform. It is definitely an honor and a privilege to be able to introduce her in this form as an author. Y'all see her all the time on the network as a host, but today she's coming in a different light. She's coming in the form of an author. So I'm going to go ahead and move out the way and bring her up and allow her to introduce herself. So, Miss Shanette, come on in the room, come on in the room, come on in the room. How are you today?
I am doing fine today. How are you?
You know what? I can't complain. There's no need complaining. I my
Mm.
mom used to tell me it's like using the restroom on yourself. Don't nobody feel that but you. So that thing stuck with me. It stuck with me, and I tell you, I learned to try not to complain, to enjoy life,
Right.
and then looking at as I've been growing and just on this journey, I've learned to appreciate things and to take things for the moment, learn to live in the moment. So I'm at peace, I must say. In spite of things could have went so many other different ways. You know, even with all the things that have happened, it could have been way
Right.
worse than what it was. But yet I stand, yet I'm here, yet I press. So enough about me. Shanette, welcome.
Yes.
Who is Shanette? We see Shanette, the host. Let's talk about the lady that's a part of the 100 author movement. So who is that lady?
Wow. This is new to me. All of this is new. I began to write once my son passed away. Um, so that's how I was able to release some of the pain that I was dealing with through my through writing to him, writing poetry, and then now I am now, working on my first book, From Grief to Glory. Hopefully I can get it done and get it released this year. I have so much things, I got my hands in other things, so that's on my list of priorities is to release my first book. But I have written in three of your anthologies, really four, because the prayer book is out now. So really four.
So, being that this will be your first project, solo project, um, what are some things that you are hoping to gain from being a part of the 100 author movement that may could help you with your project?
Um, Knowledge. You know, I've been watching the last three authors, and wow, they got me over here drinking water. And I'm all nervous and stuff because I'm like, how do you follow them? And I'm listening to them, and they dropping a lot of wisdom and a lot of nuggets, especially Millie Gross that just left. And I'm supposed to be doing homework, and I'm over on this computer listening to her, and I'm like, wow, taking notes. And then before her, I was listening to Dr. I wrote his name down, Dr. Brian, and I was like, wow, these are um amazing authors, and I never thought that I would be among them, at least in 100, part of 100 authors. And then also the young lady before, the one with the children book. I don't want to mess up her name, but listening to her story and how she took her mother and her auntie passing and made it into a book, a children's book. That was just like, man, I'm surrounded about I'm surrounded around greatness. And I never knew why God, I had friends from over 20 years, and during the time of my son transitioning, God removed them out of my life. And I didn't understand why he removed them. And now I'm seeing he putting people of great stature, people that I can learn from, even though I may be older than them, or they may be older than me. I'm learning. I'm learning from them. And when the first author was talking about her children's book, the first thing I thought about was my grandsons. I have four grandsons, and they like to read. And I don't see that many books out there um for our young men, our young teenagers and stuff. It probably is. Maybe I'm not looking hard enough.
No, that you don't, because that was one of the reasons that I got into doing what I'm doing. Back in 2016, I was working in my community in Anderson, South Carolina, running a summer program. Me and my partner, we had about 30 kids. We had a diverse group of kids. We had white kids, black kids, mixed kids, Mexican kids. But when we were going out and getting material, we could never find material that mirrored our brown kids. We could find everybody else, but we could never find anything that mirrored our brown kids in a good sense, in a good light. So that's what took me to do the things that I do. I came to Facebook. I was searching out for different people. So I was running into different authors. Like I have those milk crates. I have about 6 milk crates full of books of authors that I've actually met, authors that we've hosted events together, authors that I've helped put books into museums. There's a whole bunch of authors that have books in museums in Clemson, South Carolina, at the Clemson African American Museum. They have a whole section where they have a whole bunch of our books. We even had the news come out and do a feature on us. Like we wanting to see my babies read and seeing the results of, if you be the change that you want to see. I couldn't sit back and just wait for somebody else to say, okay, we're going to get these books for these babies. No, I searched out for these people. I found
Right.
them. they not only just would donate books, but they would come and be a part of the program. We had authors that was driving from Atlanta. And remind you, we're in a small town, Anderson, South Carolina. We're 2 hours from Atlanta, 2 hours from Charlotte, North Carolina, 2 hours from Columbia, South Carolina. We sit right outside of Clemson. So we're in a little small place. And if you're passing through, best believe you ain't staying there. You ain't. So a lot of people that came, I remember this lady. I'll never forget her. Her name is Jasmine Womack, and
Uh-huh.
her, she is right now doing some amazing things, just like we are sharing authors. She helping authors that taking their books and presenting them to corporations and getting and earning six figures. Like, ain't nothing that nobody is that she's just talking about. She's doing it, and she's taking these authors and she's helping them transform. And she lived right here in Atlanta. Don't you know that lady came to my program, sold into my kids with her baby on the front of her. You know how the Africans had their baby swallowed around? She had her
Right.
baby. She had just had her baby. She had her baby swallowed around her, and she was teaching our babies about right doing vision boards. She had her vision board up there, and she was showing her vision board while she was teaching our kids. And she didn't even realize that some of the things that she had on her vision board, the house that she had on there, she had a picture of a house. That picture that she had on there on her vision board looked just like her house. She didn't even realize how close it looked, because to her it was just a picture that she just picked out of a magazine. But she got a house built from the ground up. And that picture
Wow.
that she did some years ago, when I was looking at it, I was drawn to it because I had seen her do the post. And I was like, wow. Sometimes we don't even realize the visions that God give us in our dreams, that
Right.
when we wake up and we write them down, that we can get to it faster if we write it down. Because he said, write the vision and make it plain. But a lot of times we don't.
Mm.
We'll just brush it off because it's a dream. Because people have told us that dreams ain't nothing but dreams. That,
Yeah.
that when you wake up, that's the end of that. But that's not true. That is so not true. Like, he said that he would give visions and dreams.
Mhm.
That's what he said. His words say that. So why would his dreams just disappear and go away? They're not. So
They not.
just like Millie Gross was saying, sometimes we got to dispel those things that we've been taught. We got to dislearn some of those things and be led by the Holy Spirit, because he did say that he left the comforter. That's the Holy
Hmm.
Spirit. And when she shared with me what she shared today, like, that woke me up. That woke me up to a lot of things. Like, yeah, we have been praying to the. We've been not. We ain't supposed to be bugging God because God said it was finished. When He said it was finished, like,
Yeah.
why are we still bugging Him? He just to make sure he just watching over everything. He just to watch. He ain't to do nothing else. He just to watch, because if we even believe the word, he ain't physically did nothing.
Mm-mm.
Everything he did, he spoke. So he's
We're
speaking.
not
He
thinking.
speak every day. He speak every day through the Holy Spirit. He's still yet speaking. But see, we won't even let the Holy Spirit in. Some of us, we rebuke the Holy Spirit, so then we miss out on our blessing. We miss out on our guidance, our leadership. We miss out on the things that we're supposed to be doing. Like, for real. You
What you saying is so true. I'm just sitting here smiling because and I'm saying to myself, if she don't get off my street, why you in my lane today? You know, and that's when God gives me a word. um Sometimes I do write it down. Sometimes I just like, okay, I'll write it down. I'm gonna try to remember it. And so, and once I start getting real busy and stuff, I forget
Mhm.
it
We
instead of
get
writing it down.
distracted. And
Yeah.
that's what the enemy want us to do. See, it want us to get preoccupied, get distracted, and procrastinate. We want to put stuff off
Mhm.
to tomorrow what we can do today. When we can do it today. Why are we putting it off to tomorrow when we can share today? Like I don't understand. Like for the likes of me, I complain all the time about people not wanting to share their testimonies, not wanting to share what God has done for them. Because when I tell you He's truly been good to me, I couldn't shout it enough from the mountaintop how good He's been to me. Because I tell you, even when I wasn't good to myself, yet he allowed me to come out of my mess. He allowed me to see better days. Like domestic violence, shot point blank range with a sawed out shotgun. I shouldn't be here. A suicide attempt survivor. I shouldn't be here. Like so many times I wanted to end it, but yet he had a plan for me. Like he already mapped it out. And then we, if we've been listening to everybody that's come forth today, we get in the way instead of
Yeah.
allowing him to be who he said he would be, instead of trusting him, instead of trusting the process. We don't want to endure. We want everything microwave because that's how society have set things up for us, making us think
Yeah.
that, oh, it's overnight. Baby, you didn't get that overnight. When
Mm-mm.
when
You got to
trouble
do the
found
work.
you, it took time for trouble to find you. So just think, when it found you, it started knocking on your door. It wasn't overnight. It took some time for it to build up. So don't think that you just gonna recover overnight. You got
Mm-mm.
to give yourself time,
Process.
and you have to you have to go through the process. You have to allow those things to happen. Like,
Right.
allow yourself to process these different emotions, allow yourself to process these different things so that you can be able to share your experiences, because
Right.
that's what this journey is all about.
'Cause
And
you
then
know,
once you're able to share your experiences, then you can put it in pen and paper.
right. Because I always share what I'm going through with my dealing with grief. I never, when I found my son unresponsive, he had congested heart failure. And when I found him unresponsive, really, I didn't know what to do. I just thought he was just laying there, not paying me no attention and stuff. But when God spoke to me, he told me to do certain things because, I'm just standing there calling his name and he's telling me, like, okay, touch him. And when I touched my son, I was like, oh, okay, what's going on? Why you feeling like that and stuff. So, I'm not processing it. But then I seen his hand and God spoke again. He said, touch his hand. I touched his hand, it's like, oh, okay, now it's kind of hitting me like, oh no, I know you ain't. And then he spoke again to me. He said, now push him. And when I pushed my son and his whole body rocked with one motion, I thought I was going to lose my mind. I really did, and maybe I was in shock or something, but I cried, but I didn't have that cry. I felt God around me. And my aunties and my mother was telling me, God is with you. God is with you. And I felt it because, you know, when I had to finally lay my son to rest, I was able to say goodnight to him, and because I knew what he was going through with the sickness and everything, not being able to breathe and all of this other stuff.
Right.
To look down in there, you dying on the inside. You want to
Right.
pass out,
Yeah.
but
Because you don't you even
pass
though
out.
you understand that he had, because my brother suffered from congestion heart failure too. My brother had
Mm.
he had a defibrillator. So whenever his heartbeat
Oh,
stopped,
goodness.
it would jump it back and it would start back. Um, and my brother had that, from my understanding, the doctors had been contacting him because anytime it went off, they always would notify them or whatever, and
Mm-hmm.
the doctors would know what was going on, so they would contact them. So I was understanding that my brother, the doctor had been contacting my brother, and my brother had been ignoring them or whatever. But everything happens for a reason. But
Mm-hmm.
even though we understand that they have these illness, even with my brother, I processing my first brother's death, because my brother was a quad. He was paralyzed from his neck down, had been paralyzed for over 20 years. So we understood, every day what his everyday life was like, how someone had to comb his hair, brush his teeth, had to do everything for him. So we understood that. So with him passing, it was a little, we was more prepared. But with my last brother, we couldn't put. It's like one of those things that, even though you say you trying to prepare, you could never prepare for.
Mm-mm.
You could never prepare. Like I never, even now, I never imagined life without my brother. Like I never imagined it. Like I never imagined it. Like you could imagine. I've imagined life without my dad because I lost my mom 31 years ago. So I knew that one day I may lose my dad because my dad was older too. But I can't imagine losing someone. And I think we may be having some technical difficulties. I think Shanette may have dropped off. But grief is something. And it's something that, you just don't put to the side. You have to process it, and
Right.
you have to experience all of the different emotions, because you're gonna have different emotions, and it may creep up anytime. It's just like having PTSD.
Yes.
Anything could set you off. Anything could send you into trigger mode. Anything could make you feel like uncomfortable. Like with me,
Mm-hmm.
like I hate fireworks. Being shot point blank range with a sawed off shotgun. Fireworks and me don't get along. I don't like when cars backfire. And I don't even like watching TV because I don't like the shooting. I don't like the guns. I don't like anything got to do with guns. Like it just put me in a funk. So if I
Right.
know that, then I try to stay away from those negative things, and I try to go around those positive things, those things that will keep me in a positive vibe. Because sometimes we have to direct those feelings that
Mm-hmm.
we're having. And I love that first author that I interviewed because that's what she did with her book.
Yes.
And she was able to take losing her mom, losing her aunt, and a time where she should have been grieving and going through, but she was able to process that so that she could help somebody else by going
Mm-hmm.
back to their youth. She gathered on memories, things that she remembered them doing, and she was able to give that back through now a doll, going to be a coloring book, and ain't no telling what else may come from it. Because I'm looking at them little dolls, and I'm just looking at little puppets and the puppet
Yep.
show, all kind of little
Uh-huh.
stuff. Because just the way the little dolls, just how the little dolls are made, I just love how you could just probably do so much stuff with it.
Yep.
But
You can.
should you have done something just as amazing as that first author? Your son wanted to go back to school. So you, in the midst of all that you're doing, you have gone back to school. You
Yes.
became a published author because you are in four of our anthologies. You are in the Legacy Chronicles series, where you were able to truly pen about your son, your experience, and how you felt and how you dealt with that. Um, and it was a stepping stone for you to be able to decide to do this new book. So with this new book, that's what I really want to talk about, because we want to get some people involved in what you have going on. So if you would please tell them a little bit about this book project that you want to accomplish in 2025.
Well, with this, book, I want to be able to help someone that's going through grief, to let them know that it's okay that feel the way they feel. So that's why I decided to do something like this, because you feel you sometimes people will tell you things and they tell you, oh, you shouldn't feel that way, you shouldn't feel that this way. Feel the way you want to feel all the emotions and write it down. And that's the way I felt like I couldn't breathe, so I wrote about I couldn't breathe. I felt like I had a hole in my heart. I wrote about that. So I want to write about everything while I'm grieving, the process that I'm going through, feeling all the different emotions. And then I want to begin, this is my healing time. So I'm doing things that he wanted to do, that he wanted to go to school, so I went to school. So I'm gonna write about that. He liked exercising. He was my exercise coach until I fired him because he wanted, he just so but I'm not there. I'm not at the exercising thing just yet again. Um he encouraged me to go drive trucks. So guess what I'm finna to do? I'm finna to go drive trucks. I'm already a Class B licensed driver, a commercial licensed driver. So I'm gonna just turn my B's into A's. So now I'm starting to do things that he encouraged me to do and things that he wanted to do. So that's going to be the glory part of it, how I'm coming out of it. And I just want to help someone. So if you're that person that experienced grief, whether it's a child, a parent, a spouse, a sibling, grandparents, whoever it is that you grieving over at this time, and if you want to be a part of From Grief to Glory,
And
reach
not
out.
even just losing a loved one, because I had a we did a poetry showcase on last night. We had a author who is also a part of the 100 author movement, Michelin Moss, on last night, and she talked about her experience with grief because her son
Oh
lost
yes,
his sight, and
yes.
how that affected them, and loss, a lot of different type of loss, that can affect, like a lot of the people in North Carolina and Tennessee that were affected by Helen, that lost everything, things that they're never going to be able to replace, things, memories that they only had because they had that thing, and
Mm-hmm.
they're not going to have that thing no more. So losing, any type of loss that causes you to feel like you have a emptiness, causes grief, causes these emotions, causes these different feelings. So you being able to share that inside of this book, and being able to connect with other like-minded individuals that have been experienced this, and y'all being able to share your perspective, and then being able to be a part of this movement,
Man,
and being able to support each other, share each other's
yes,
stuff. I'm telling you, that would be so amazing. Like so amazing, so amazing. Um, Before we leave today, Shanette, I
yes.
want you to tell them how they can get involved with this project. What's some of the requirements? Um, and how they can follow you, how can they connect with you, things like that, because we want people to be able to support the things that you're doing, and to be able to be a part of this amazing project that you have coming up. So go ahead.
Well, you can connect with me on Facebook at Shanette Johnson. You can just that's my personal page, or you can reach out to me at on Let's Talk About It on Facebook or Instagram. On Instagram, is at just being Shanette. That's how you can connect with me. Um, the requirements to be in a book is, if you're willing to share, I'm more than welcome to have you guys. I'm not gonna just say, well, I need you to do this, I need you to do that, but it is a small fee. That's is a tax. It's not no $199 or $100 fee, nothing like that. It's just something small. To get featured into the anthology, and also you'll be able to list it on your author's page as a co-author in it. That's about it.
Well, I tell you, being a part of an anthology is a great opportunity if you want to get your foot wet, if you are new to authorship, if you want to, if you've been writing like me. When I say I have published, I have over 121, 22, 23, I can't remember, but over 120 something books, planners, journals. It's not because I've done them all by myself. It's because I have allowed other people to be a part of the things that I do, and because I have been a part of other people's anthology. I truly believe in sharing what God has done for me, sharing His goodness, sharing those things. So when people ask me, "Well, do you have your bio, your memoir, your no, I don't." I If you pick up any book that I've been, you're gonna learn a part of me. You're gonna learn something that you
Right.
didn't learn in the last book. You're gonna walk away knowing something about me. That's one thing I tell people is, if you want to leave your legacy, you want to leave your blueprint, you want to leave it, you don't want to leave no ifs, ands, or buts about who you were, what you did, and how you did it. You got to tell your story and you got to leave it. So
Exactly.
the only way you can do that is to get it out there. A lot of people don't want to do anthologies. A lot of people don't want to do different things. But if he give you an outlet to share, share. Y'all don't sit down on his
Mm-hmm.
goodness. You're not keeping
Mm-mm.
it. You ain't you when you sit down on what he's done for you. You keeping it from him. You sit
Right.
down on his glory. You're sitting down on his gift that he gave you. And if you keep sitting down on it, guess what he gonna do? He gonna take it
It's
away
gonna take it.
because it's to bring him glory for your good. So if you
Yes.
want change, y'all, I'm telling you, you got to be the change that you desire to see. And that's what these amazing authors are doing. If you are not a part of the 100 author movement, I want to encourage you to get attached to the 100 author movement. You see them to the left, the right, whatever side they own, they over here. You see them listed. We have Charita is a group leader. Shanette is a group leader. Dr. Kimberly is a group leader. Dr. Chinchilla is a group leader. Charlotte is a group leader. And of course, Patrice is a group leader. And we have some amazing authors, poets, creatives that are a part of what we are doing. They are sharing their brand, they are sharing what they're doing, and they are just trying to amplify that God has already given them, that they already have. They're just trying to get it out there so that it can reach the masses and do what God purposed it to do through each one of us. Y'all, we all got a purpose. There's something that we're all supposed to be doing in this universe.
Right.
And if we all can come together and pull off of each other's strength, where I may be weak, you may be able to lift me up, Jeanette. And
Yes.
then somebody else may be able to lift me up on the left side. Somebody may be able to lift me up on the right. Somebody may be able to carry me from the front. Somebody may be able to push me ahead from the back, and I may get through whatever it is I may be going through that's causing me to be weak in that area. And that's what we got to do for one another. We got to get back to that village mentality, and it
Mm-hmm.
all starts with our mindset. It all starts with what we want and what we give out, because that we give out is gonna come back. It's
Right.
gonna come back. And I want my ripple to be a ripple that, people will say, hey, Miss Angela did this, Miss Angela did this, and it'll be something positive. It would never be anything negative. It will always be something positive. So, what would you leave with the people as we close out on today? What is the one thing that you would want people to take away from your platform and the things that you're doing?
Oh, the things that I'm doing, I'm being a voice. I just want to say this real quick. I know it's kind of early, but it's never too early. In August, if you guys are over in California, the AAALCA, did I say it right, Angela?
AALAC.
It's coming back. It's coming back to California, and this time we want to do it bigger. We want to be able to give our children in our community backpacks to send them back off to school. So I'm working on that. So if you guys would like to come on over here to California, the authors come on over here, and just let's talk to our youth that's in the communities and stuff. Get our kids back reading, and let them see that there are Brown and authors that's out here,
Yeah.
so we can get them back writing. And because a lot of them, have mental illness and stuff, and we can get them to start writing their emotions down. They, maybe we can curb some of this violence
Well,
that's
we
going.
have mental illness specialists right amongst us. We have individuals that suffer from mental illness. You're looking at one, PTSD, depression. Um, but when I learned what it was, and I learned how to deal with it. Yeah, sometimes I have my moments, and then sometimes I have to cry and then let it out
Mhm.
and go on, keep pushing. But once you are able to identify it, you learn ways to deal with it, and you learn how to go on, and you continue to share. You have Dr. Window, you have Dr. Brian. He shares his testimony about his mental illness battle. And I tell you, they're doing some amazing work with mental health. And you have different other individuals. Charlotte, she talks about grief. You have myself, you, Little, all these individuals are a part of the 100 author movement. So you have a diverse group of individuals that come from different backgrounds, and they are sharing different things, because they want to be able to be a beacon of light to somebody that may be going through, to be able to help that person come out, so that that person may be able to do the same thing. If we continue to pay it forward, and we continue to look at the next person, and not always thinking about ourselves, but thinking about the community as a whole, then
Mhm.
we all benefit. We all grow. We will all move forward. And that's where it goes back to I'm so thankful that God dropped in my spirit to allow me to be able to be the visionary of the 100 author movement, and to be able to bring these authors together, and to allow these authors to utilize their gifts and their talents and the things that God has given them. Because if it was not for what He has given them, we wouldn't even be able to come together to showcase those things. So there it goes again. We giving Him glory, and He's
Yeah.
opening doors for us and allowing us to be able to do these things. I'm excited about coming back to California, excited about going to Texas, excited about hosting some stuff right here in Atlanta, excited about going to South Carolina. I'm just excited about being the change that we desire to see, because that's what we're doing. I'm excited about the new season that's coming up here with the Crew Podcast. We have some new hosts that are joining. We have some new shows that are going to be dropping. I'm just excited all around, how individuals are going to be able to tune in now. We actually have our little radio station that people are going to be able to listen to 24/7, 365 days. There's going to be continually play of nothing but the Crew Podcast. So you can go over there. If you miss our shows, you can go over there and just hear something playing all the time. We got the Free Texas campaign going. We got the prayer call going. We got season 1 and 2 of the Crew Podcast going, and soon to have season 3 coming up starting in February. Also, um, Shanette is an amazing host over on the podcast. She social injustice. If you have
Yeah.
an individual that is incarcerated and you need a voice, that is your voice. She will help you, whatever she can do to help you amplify your voice and help you get your voice out there. But as we close, Shanette, I would love for you to just, whatever is laid on your heart, to just share with the people about the movement, about your upcoming book, about whatever it is. Just share with them as we close. Again, I want to thank you for coming on, sharing with us. I know it's never easy to share and to be transparent and to allow people into your world, but I thank you for being
You
transparent and allowing us to learn a little more about you as you take this journey into the author world. So the floor is yours as we close out.
Well, over here on Let's Talk About It with me and my co-host Cornell, we just to do something different. I speak on injustice because my husband is currently in prison fighting a wrongful conviction. And speaking to the mans over these past 11 months, I believe it was, the different mans from California, all over, all of them had the same story of the injustice that they had experienced. And to be wrongfully convicted, and during the holidays, a lot of them, they got through it, but you can hear it in their voices. You know, if you guys have loved ones that's in prison, please don't write them off, no matter what they have did, because um, God loves us too. He says a just man falls 7 times. You know, reach out to them, let them know that you still love them, that you know, just send them a letter, check up on them, because you never know what they're going through. We just seen a young man that was killed by CO officers a week ago or something. But just go out there and reach out to them, be a voice. I'm gonna leave you with this. My I use my voice for the voiceless, amplifying the unheard, and standing up for those who cannot speak for themselves. Champion justice and compassion in this world that often overlook the marginalized. Use your voice, be a voice, stand up for justice. Don't don't let them continuously to do us like this. That's that's it. Just be a voice.
Amen. Amen. Well, I want to thank you for stopping by and sharing. I want to thank everyone that has tuned in on today and shared with us on today. I tell you, whoo, y'all, we got a lineup of authors, a part of the 100 authors to watch. If you have not been supporting these authors, if you've not went over and checked them out, y'all, we got blogs going. We have YouTube, we got Twitch, we got U42. We have them shared. We have them up on speaker.com, iHeart. So you're going to have an opportunity to really get to know these authors. And I'm telling you, you think you're sick of me, you're really going to get sick of me, because you're going to get sick of seeing them, because I'm going to have them on everything. I'm about to have them on all the magazines. I'm about to have them on billboards. Yeah, if they want to be on billboards, I've been checking on everything, y'all. We about to do this. When I tell you it's time for you to be intentional about those things, it's time for you to be intentional. So if you ain't ready, you better get ready. It's time to stay ready, because everything that he said you should have, you should have. Trust and believe, you should have. Y'all, I'll see y'all in a few minutes. You got 20 minutes till the next show. So go grab you a beverage, and I'll see you at 5. We got Dr. Pereira. And I probably messed that up. Y'all know Josiah Jean Pereira. And I probably said a Pierre. I think that may be right. But if I did, y'all just count it to my little noggin up here, and not my heart, because I'm real bad with names. But y'all come back in 19 minutes now. See y'all soon.